Now this video, let's just say this was by special request. I guess regarding some news regarding prison politics. And we'll leave it as that for now. Now before I continue, let me put a disclaimer. I speak on a variety of topics. If it's on my mind and I feel y'all need to hear it, I'll speak on it. Now this video here definitely ain't to glorify prison life at all. Prison is for the birds. I don't recommend nobody to go. Trust me, take my word for it. This ain't this. But it is something I think I need to speak on. So here it is. So I guess there's been a lot of news going around that the Mexicans are approaching the blacks regarding these 50-50 yards. Now 50-50 yard is pretty much 50% general population and 50% SNY, which stands for special needs. And that can be a variety of things, and it's usually people that's no good. Not usually, it is people with no good status. Now, of course, for different reasons, people may end up in SNY. Maybe they dropped out, they done with the prison politics, or they really in bad standing. Probably their original case is something ain't cool, I ain't even gotta say. You know what I'm saying? The P words, some R words, all that. So all that is basically no good status. So I guess what's been going on is, according to the reports, a lot of the Mexicans is pushing up on the blacks saying that, hey, anybody that stayed on a 50-50 yard, and then I guess when they come to general pop or a 4 yard, they can't walk the line being that they was on a 50-50 yard, regardless if they's SNY or not. And from what I'm hearing, they saying that the Mexicans is pushing the line. So this is what I gotta say about that. Now again, this definitely ain't the glorified prison politics or prison at all. But there are ground rules regarding convict conduct, as I'll put it. Now, and before I continue, I did an earlier part of my life in and out these prisons in California. I discharged a P number. So I know what I'm talking about. This is first-hand experience. So this is the thing. Some people will say that's a wobbler. But I'm going to skip the wobbler part. I'm going to keep it 100, y'all. You ain't supposed to program with no goods. Period. You ain't supposed to program with them. Now, if you want a GP, general population yard, and they're advocating to turn it into a 50-50 yard, the administration, well, usually my experience is, well, for one, you tell administration don't send no goods. Now, usually the first one they send usually get balled up just to let them know how serious that is. Now, again, I know prison has changed a lot, but some yards, it ain't happening. For real. It's just like that. See, a lot of people don't understand. We got prison convict rules that's all across the board, regardless of race. These rules been established prior. You understand, in the 60s and the 70s, when the convicts didn't have no rights. And it was the inmates, in particular the black inmates, due to the whole civil rights era, we was pushing that line for fair treatment. TVs, little concessions like that. Convicts pushed to make that happen. So we pretty much control the prison to that extent, which is why in California prisons in the first place is race-based. That's due to the convicts, not the administration. So in this situation, I think the convicts need to do the same thing, because we know the rules. Whether you, and I'm not advocating this or not, but we know the rules. You ain't supposed to program with none of them. So If in fact they trying to put you on a 50-50 yard, you don't hit that yard. You roll it up. You roll yourself up. Or you do something to make sure you get up out of there. And I've seen this happen in my experience. I've seen people come to the GP yard and they let us know, like, hey man, I said, hell no. And some come like, hey man, they trying to send me over there. If I don't come back, he's no longer no good. Don't count him. These are, to my understanding, clear-cut prison convict rules that applies to all. Now, I've also heard some people say, well, hey, we definitely don't want no other group to dictate our program. And of course, hell no. But like I said, you got rules that been established that applies to all groups. You know, so I say this, it's not even necessarily a tricky, sticky situation, and not even necessarily a wobbler, because I guess what's been going on, according to these reports, is that I guess when some of the guys who was on the 50-50 yard either get transferred or moved to a GP, the Mexicans is kind of upset because they, according to them, is that the blacks just been letting cats come from them yards and hit the main line with no problems, no scrutiny, no nothing. So, according to this report, they saying the Mex like, hey, if y'all ain't gonna clean up y'all garbage, then we will. And that's gonna cause a whole bunch of issues. See, and it's the thing, man. In prison, when it comes to taking out the trash, every group job to take out their own trash. Not even just race, even when it comes to what particular car you belong to, even within your grouping. So if you in a particular car and somebody in your car is no good, or come to find out something and they gotta go, then it's up to y'all to handle it. And if y'all can't handle it, then of course other convicts from other groups gonna step in and handle it. Now usually your group don't usually want that to happen because that's a bad look. Now of course there definitely are different exceptions, but for the most part, in general, you usually take out your own trash. You know, so I can see this spiraling, I can see this domino affecting, but I'm thinking this is why prison ain't cool. Because of the type of BS that you subjected to. And it's simple stuff, but you can lose your life behind that simple stuff. So this is more the reason why prison ain't cool, straight up. And it ain't cool to come back, because as I'm hearing this stuff, it's getting more and more watered down. And let's not get it twisted again. This ain't the place to be in the first place, even if it wasn't watered down. But nevertheless, it's getting watered down. But some brothers like, hey man, I ain't no good. I was on that yard, but I ain't no good. My status is good. But the rules is, you ain't supposed to do that. Again, if they trying to turn the yard 50-50, then we ain't with that. Either get me off this yard, or the first one y'all put on this yard ain't gonna be there long. You know, and I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen on Soledad concerning the the he-she's or whatever, and excuse it for YouTube or whatever, but they like don't put none of them on that yard. And they didn't. It took hella long for that to happen, to where the whole dinner yard turned over before they start trying to ease some up in there. But so this happens in prison. You know what I mean? For myriad of reasons. Although this situation, it is, but see, I gotta go back to the old rule, the old playbook, man. I ain't supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Don't function. Now about the Mex trying to push up on blacks. And this is from what I'm hearing. You know, it's, again, man, we got rules that predated all of us. Convict rules that convicts fought for to make prison more comfortable for you. And this, I think, is where one of them situations where I think the convicts need to come together and tell administration. And when I say tell, it's different ways to tell, but you get what I mean. Nah, we not with this new rule. We don't give a period. And again, a lot of this, I can see this happening. See, if it's on a 4-yard, it ain't gonna happen. I could see that, because then that's when the convicts, they gonna let it be known. You understand? You got people that's not coming home, so that is their world, and they gonna make sure they gonna make that as comfortable or accommodating as possible. Now, when you go to these 1, 2, 3 yards, I mean, again, rules apply, but at the same time, a lot of times, a lot of people on them yards is just trying to get home. Not on no scary stuff, but they just ain't about to just get deep, six-vested into the whole politics. And again, they just trying to get home, do their time, and get home. So I can imagine it's a lot of them probably when they on them yards and they raise up in points, or probably go to the hole and they find, oh man, you was on that yard? Like, what? Hold on, well then you can't come here with us if you was on that yard. And then I can see somebody like, no, but he wasn't one of them. But they like, no, but he was on that yard though. Why you stay on that yard though? So I can see all the discrepancy, the back and forth. Yeah, it's definitely a powder keg. I'm gonna put it like that. And good thing I ain't in prison, even though they trying to take away mine, you know what I'm saying, right now. But that's a different story. So that's basically how I feel about that, y'all. So the person that requested I speak on this, I spoke on it. There is no, because a lot of people, of course, and you see in certain comments, certain videos, people are like, well, man, we don't let nobody else dictate our program. And yes, this is true. And there are rules that supersede all groups that the founding father convicts established. You know what I'm saying? I know it sounds crazy, but this is prison life. And no, I'm not glorifying it, but it is what it is. So if you somebody that's out there in the shit, it's a good chance you're going to stop there. You understand? Nowadays, if you're lucky, you know what I mean? But point is, man, there are original rules that I think need to apply in this situation. Especially now, I'm hearing about all these changes that the administration have done. So I think when it comes to that, you go back to the basics. I don't even understand the idea of them even making 50-50 yards. That don't make sense. And that's another thing, my question on the 50-50 yards. So are the GP, general population, are they going out the yard with the SNY at the same time? Are they going to chow at the same time? Administration, are they all on the same work crews? You know what I mean? It's like all that is, that's basically a recipe for disaster, to be honest. I'm surprised it even got this far and developed on that. And of course, again, they're going to do that on them 1 yards, on them ranches and all that, where everybody's trying to go home. So certain people ain't going to push it too much. But then again, that don't matter, because there's certain things to where all the convicts need to band together and stand up and be like, hey man, nah, hell nah. And that's my opinion on the whole thing. And of course, it's not cut and dry, but my first thought, y'all, honestly, go back to the basics. Nah, it was rules that been established prior, man, and one of those rules is we don't mix with the PCs. And of course, I'm going to say there could be a possible asterisk as to why somebody end up on that yard. Not everybody's a pedophile or weirdo like that. You know what I'm saying? Some people, again, may be considered a drop out from their group, Maybe they seen something that wasn't cool from their group and decided to opt out, and that's how they got there. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, they solid. You know, and that's the double-edged sword, I guess. You know what I mean? But the general rule, though, rule of thumb is nah. You know? So that's the answer to that. Now, definitely, you don't let no other group dictate the program, regardless of the numbers. If you severely outnumber like that, then you know what to do. Get up out of there, and you can walk as a man because you opted to get up out of there. And I'm not going to go into detail because I don't mean just quietly rolling up out of there. That ain't what I mean. But you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, man, but that's what I make of it, y'all. You know, it's prison life. It's for the birds. But nevertheless, it applies to us because we in America. A lot of us got family members. A lot of us got friends. I bet anybody, if you see this video, I bet you know somebody that's either in prison or went to prison. You know, or you might be on your way to prison. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't to jinx you, but it is what it is. So, again, there's certain rules, man, that I think need to be re-embraced. I'm just going to put it like that. You know? And I think once that happened, a lot of the riffraff that the administration trying to pull over people's heads will cease to stop because they know the convicts ain't playing again no more. And that's pretty much what I got to say about that, y'all, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. And if you was in that situation, what would you do? And this is, of course, for people who live this type of lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Again, this ain't the glorified prison politics or whatever, because me personally, I talk about a lot of stuff on this platform. So some people, I've been accused of, hold on, man, you sound so articulate, you make some good points on some other things, and why you gonna start talking about this prison stuff? You don't think how you gonna be? No, I'm talking about everything, man. This is my life. I've been through a whole lot, especially from a nice looking guy like me. But that's beyond the point, though. So y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Go ahead, drop a comment, hit that like button. I'll be back. Bad News Brown, breaking it down.